Hey everybody, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Well, welcome everybody. I just want to take a moment to say hello to everybody that have been sticking with the channel a long time, as well as those that are new to the channel. Welcome. I hope you feel like this is like walking into a comic book shop and just talking with others. And that's the goal with this, is to build a community and be able to have disagreements about comic books like we used to, and still, be comic book fans together. So the first comic book I want to talk about is one of my favorites that's been going on, and that's Ultimate Spider-Man number 8. League of Comics Geeks said 614 out of 623 liked it with a 4.5 average rating, and I didn't give it as high of a score. I gave it a 7.8, but this book has continued, this series has continued to be, in my opinion, an interesting read. Jonathan Hickman is the writer, the artist is Marco Checchetto, and I think he's done a good job. Good art. I think there's really good characterization. I think that's where this book excels, is in the characterization. It's an interesting story, though this issue was a little slow and could use more action. I think that's why I gave it a little lower score, but I am looking forward to the next issue. It says Kingpin's Sinister Six. Yeah, we get that. We're just getting Kingpin, getting this group assembled, and I think that's the cool part of this. We have, meanwhile, we have Spider-Man and the Green Goblin working together, right? And that's an interesting dynamic as well. If you haven't been reading this and you maybe got sick of Spider-Man in the main 616, with the Amazing Spider-Man title, and I can understand why that book has been pitiful at best, this is really your best Spider-Man bet right here. Your best Spider-Man stories. There's even the most close to Spider-Man. If you hear my pen and notes and things, that's just me so I don't forget things. But yeah, this has been the best Spider-Man book in my opinion. The next one I want to jump to is Deadpool issue number 5. 116 out of 123 liked it with a 4.1 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, where I gave it a respectable 7.4. The writer is Cody Ziegler, and artist is Andrea DeVito, and it says Deadpool is in Death Grip's clutches, and not in a fun way. Yeah, the mad mystic martial artist will stop at nothing to find the limits of Deadpool's healing factor. At what point will the mercs with the mouth stop growing back? Well, you might see it just here. And has Deadpool been a good enough father that his daughter will try to save him? The answer is yeah, absolutely. I do like the cover of this issue. I think this is a good issue, cover that would probably make a good issue for good issue for cover battle. You could tell I don't try to edit these much. There's some really good fourth wall breaks with this issue. I mean, yeah, this character's known for that, but this issue, a lot of them, and really well done. Good art, good action, and I like Taskmaster working with Deadpool, something I never thought I would say. And if you haven't read this and you are considering diving into Deadpool, the next issue should be starting a new story arc. So that might be where to jump in and give it a shot if you've been maybe considering checking out this character. Now, the next one, speaking of checking out a character, we're going to talk about Daredevil, the Woman Without Fear, issue number 2. 77 out of 82 liked it with a 3.9 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, and I gave it a 7.3. We have the writer Erica Schultz and artist Michael Dowling. We have
the not real Daredevil versus the not real Punisher. Yeah, well, that's gonna soapbox piss off some people. But anyway, it's Elektra. Why do we have to have every character have a spin-off version, female version? If you notice that, how many female characters have we had a spin-off with a male character variant? Huh, think about that. I don't like that. Marvel dilutes characters. Why not build on her as Elektra? You know, I just don't get that. You let me know your thoughts there. But anyway, we have Elektra versus the not Punisher, or the not Daredevil versus the not Punisher Gallows guy that's not the real one. We have Daredevil, it says, versus the Punisher. As I said, my thoughts on that are already spiraling out of control. Yes, there's a fight there between these two. And well, you know what? At least Marvel admits in this issue during the banter that Frank is better than this guy. There is decent art in this issue and some good action. The issue shows us why we really need Frank Castle back, though. This guy is just not as good as Frank at all. I'm not saying he's a terrible character, but let's be honest, is Marvel trying to make Frank in every way but not be Frank? And frankly, that was stupid. You get what I did there? Thank you. It took you long enough to hit that drum.
Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by My Wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below. Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give me a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you, everybody. And let's get back to the video.
All right, for the next one, I want to break out those guns there and talk about some G.I. Joe Real American Hero. 30 out of 31 liked it with a 4.2 average rating on Leo Comics Geeks, and I gave this book a 7.5. The writer is Larry Hama, penciler is Paul Pelletier, whatever. And we get some more fighting in Springfield, yep. And will there be some revenge from the last issue? Well, only time will tell. I gave this book a 7.5. You know what? I think this is the best G.I. Joe Real American Hero has been in a while. I really think they overdid it for a while with mind control constantly, and this was a nice change of pace. Cobra Commander in this issue shows us that he's a badass. Or does he? There's a little twist there. There's good art in this issue, good action, good story. Really, this is a good read for any G.I. Joe fan. The question is, though, what will Dawn do? Will she kill the police officer that took part in killing her parents? Only time will tell. If I was a betting person, actually, before I get to that, being a betting person, I'm not, but I'd like to let me know in the chat. Do you think next issue will Dawn shoot the police officer that took part in killing her parents? I think she won't. I think she's going to end up not shooting that guy because, you know, she's got to be the hero. But I'd like to know your guess. Will she do it? Will she go down the dark path? The next one I want to talk about is another series that Marvel just can't continue to get off the ground, and that's Spider-Woman, because we know that Marvel can't write female characters. They keep hiring the wrong people to write these to a market that doesn't exist. And unfortunately, they're doing a great disservice to these characters. And this issue is none other than the final issue of the series, Spider-Woman number 10. 31 out of 45 liked it with a 3.3 average rating, and I gave this one just a 7. We have the writer Steve Fox and artist Iguara, and boy, did they drop the ball on this. Yep, it says this is the last issue's shocking revelations leading to a brutal fight that will push Spider-Woman and the Assembly to their limits. And yeah, it's nothing big. The artist in this issue, I'm sorry, but my opinion, does an incredibly poor job of drawing Spider-Woman. Just does not do her any justice. This book is canceled, and I think it's canceled for a reason. The ending, in my opinion, you could tell seemed very rushed. I think they, even though you read it at the end there, they make it sound like, oh, this went longer than we thought it would. Really? So you intended this book to be so bad it wouldn't go past 4 issues, is what they predicted, I think they said. No, they wanted to do good, and it failed, because you could tell this ending was completely rushed, because all of a sudden they had to throw everything back together. Marvel really does need to invest in putting better teams on for female lead books. This is the third female lead book in a very short time canceled. We had Captain Marvel, Spider-Woman, and Sensational She-Hulk. None of them could make it very far. I think they all got canceled at 10 issues. And I think that shows you something. They're pandering to a market that does not exist. Hire a writing team that can write these characters properly. They just don't seem to get it. Get these characters some A-list talent, or at least B-list talent, and make a decent book. And maybe, just maybe then, people will actually want to read this stuff. But they continue to peddle out, giving mediocre artists or people that don't want to draw the character like they should be drawn. They gain attention or whatever because they're afraid of the male gaze or whatever dumb reasons they have, and they're failing. Now, speaking of failing, I hate to say it, but let's talk about Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 6. 40 out of 54 liked it with a 3.3 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, and I gave this book a 7. The writer is Benjamin Piercy, and the artist is Danny Kim. Johnny Blaze closes in on the Hood as his empire crumbles. What deal is the new Ghost Rider willing to make to hold on to his power, and at what lengths will he go in order to remain the hero of the story? Well, I hate to say it, but this issue was completely disappointing. I'm sorry. And I've been enjoying this series. It was a decent ending, don't get me wrong, but it was very anticlimactic. And if anything, the art was just, oh no, the art was not good. We had really third-rate art on this. I'm not trying to be mean to Danny Kim, but considering what we've been having in this, and then this issue, it just, I don't know if it was rushed or what. It was just mediocre at best all the way. But I will say that at the end, they said there's going to be a Spirits of Vengeance number 1 for a new spin-off Ghost Rider series, and I'm going to give that a shot. Even though this book only, in my opinion, earned a 7 and barely got a 7 on that. They aren't really disappointed me in the mid-tier ending there. Just wasn't good. I will check out the new series and see if that's worth getting. And will you be checking out that Ghost Rider? Have you been enjoying Ghost Rider? I think Marvel's really trying to put more into this character to get them off the ground, have future plans with them, but this ending just didn't cut it. Next, let's take a dive to Nightwing 117, where 182 out of 209 liked it with a 3.8 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. I gave it a 7.2. The writer is Tom Taylor, the artist is Bruno Redondo, which has been on the book for both of them for quite a while now. And here we are. We get good old Dick Grayson trying to overcome his fear, getting through that. And by doing that, he figures out something about his past. I'm not always a big fan of the going back to characters' pasts and tweaking the story because sometimes I think it could be invasive. This one wasn't too bad. And it was sort of neat that we see Bruce was, covering for Dick Grayson. And that's a nice little change of pace there instead of going the opposite way. So the story moves closer, though, to the conclusion. Nightwing overcomes his issues in this one. And overall, it's a decent issue. That's why I got a 7.2. Nothing special, but decent. And I think that's where Nightwing has been a lot lately. Just decent, but nothing special, which is better than I expected from Tom Taylor. Next one I want to talk about is Superman issue number 17. 210 out of 217 liked it with a 4.1 average rating, and I gave this book a 7.6. The writer is Joshua Williamson, the artist is Jamal Campbell. And here we go. We have Superman and Zatanna team up. Yeah, we do. This is definitely connected to Absolute Power tie-in. And, it makes sense that it is a tie-in because right now with what's going on with Superman, so I understand that, this book being a tie-in to that series. But it is interesting, and it shows you, in my opinion, what makes Superman great as he's in this magical bar. What makes Superman great, even without power. So we have that, it's good. And I have to say, too, the art style, I was very on the fence about the art style of this series. But I will tell you, as the issues go on in this series, this art style is growing on me. I'm starting to actually really like it. So I'd like to let me know. What do you think of the art style of this series? Is it something you liked right away? Is it growing on you? But overall, I enjoyed this book. I believe it deserved its 7.6. Now, this next book is hard for me to review and be unbiased. I'm going to be open about that, just so everybody knows my thoughts, because I believe in being honest about that. I think Mark Waid's an absolute dickbag. And that's just going to be Batman Superman World's Finest issue number 30. 188 out of 198 liked it with a 4 average rating. I gave the book a 7.7. Once again, I'm trying to be fair here. Okay, writer's Mark Waid, artist Gleb Mekhanov, which, sorry dude, I butchered your name. We have the Trinity's first mission revealed. This is a one-shot story with a mystery that has to be solved. and it's getting solved by the big three and Robin. They don't give Robin any attention on the cover. Book has decent art, and you know what? It makes sense that the villains are such good lying scum villains in these books, because I think Wade has a lot of experience in being lying scum. This is a one-issue contained story, so if you want to check it out, just a one-issue contained story to see what this series is like, this is probably a good one to check that out. As I said, not a Wade fan, but I still believe this book deserved a 7.7, and I think I'm being fair with that rating. If you don't think I am, go ahead and let me know, because I'm sure you'll love to tell me how it's the best book on the market and I'm an idiot or whatever for having different views, and that's okay. Next one I read was Green Lantern War Journal number 12. 65 out of 71 liked it with a 4.1 average rating. Writer Philip Kennedy Johnson, artist Montos. I gave this book a 7.2. This is the epic conclusion of the story of this with all that's going around. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a decent art in this book, decent ending, but I thought this whole story was convoluted. Way too convoluted than it needed to be. And I think that's why I only gave it a 7.2. I think the best part about this series so far has been the connection of John Stewart and his mother. And we get more moving forward with that, as well as that ending overall of that story arc. As I said, not a big fan of that story arc, but hey, things happen. If you've been reading this, definitely go ahead and finish it off. If you haven't been, this is not the issue to start, because it's the conclusion of that story, and it really be, sort of a waste of your time to be completely lost in the issue. The next one I want to talk about is a series that I think deserves more attention than it's been getting based on what I can see and tell. I don't think the sales have been great, and that's Get Fury number 4. 51 out of 53 liked it with a 4 average rating, and I think that's pretty solid though, considering Marvel does everything they can do to get rid of Nick Fury, it seems like. And I gave this book a 7.5, so not as high as they did, but I think this book has been a great book. Writer is Garth Ennis, inker is Guillermo Ortega-Winskin. Sorry if I butchered it. Frank Castle begins the suicide mission to rescue Nick Fury. But if you know Frank Castle, he's not usually the one who ends up dead in the impossible situation. The CIA, however, don't quite understand Castle's capabilities and employ drastic measures to ensure that Castle and Fury don't leave alive. Yeah, they send him in, and Nick Fury's like, they sent Punisher in, Frank Castle, to kill Nick Fury. But Punisher's like, I'm not doing that. And they realize that. And so now there's a whole drug ring getting uncovered and things. It's interesting. Good art, solid writing in this. And I think Marvel needs to take notes. This is how we write Punisher. Frank Castle's a good character in the right hands. We haven't seen that in a long time because Marvel's hatred for the character. I wish this book would be selling more because we also have Nick Fury, the classic Nick Fury, which brought us great stories of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything else. Of course, they threw him out too because they wanted him to look more like the MCU counterpart, and so they had to go and change that character, which it's sort of saddening. It is what it is, but we have two characters that Marvel has cared nothing about and done everything they could to ruin them, actually, and we're getting a great story with them. And I wish they would take note and learn from this, but then again, this is Marvel. They probably won't. Well, that's what I read this week, and I couldn't get to everything I wanted to. It's been a busy week, but that's what I read. What did you read? What should I read? There was some I intentionally skipped. I didn't continue with Gotham City Sirens. I checked out the first few issues and it just wasn't for me. Couldn't get into it. So there's some other ones I might want to check out later, like Predator vs. Black Panther #1 but I just didn't get. I might consider getting Giant Size Thor #1, but I didn't end up getting. That's $6.99. And dollary dues are, let's be honest, they're hard to come by, and things are tough right now for a lot of people, and these books are really expensive. When you're spending $3.99, $4.99, $5.99 for a book that you can read in 10-15 minutes, sometimes less, it adds up. So hopefully I saved you some money here by giving you an update on what these books are and not wasting your money on some. And if I did, I'm glad that I did that. Share your thoughts below, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you don't mind, thank these people, because without these people, this channel wouldn't be possible. They are completely awesome. And until next time, keep it frugal.